Okay, so in this video I'm going to demonstrate the new updating feature of dynamic REST. You'll notice again that we have this new field at the query level called update limit, and if we look at the help text for this, it basically says that this is the maximum number of records that can be updated. If you want to disable updating, which is updating is disabled by default when you create a query, set this value to 0 or leave it blank. So for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to start off with, we'll start off with it blank. And when it's blank, updating is disabled. And you'll see that there's this special column here called update parameter, which is what you can use in the URL bar. That is missing. And in fact, if you try to do an update, so this is a query that would normally do an update. Okay, nothing happens, and it may not be apparent right now, but just trust me for the moment that nothing has actually changed, been updated here, because we've turned off updating. In order to update a field, you've also, in addition to setting the limit to something higher than 0 or blank, you have to mark a particular field as updatable. So there is a checkbox. And as of this release, we don't support updating on relationship field types. We only support updating on normal field types. So if we look at our name, for example, you can see that that has been checked. All right. So for this use case, let's say that you wanted to run a search for an account and match the account based on something, and then when you matched it, you wanted to change the name of that account. Okay. So I'm going to set the update limit to 1, and I'm going to set the default limit to 1. What you'll see now is that I have this special parameter called name update, and that's taken based off of either the field path or the field alias. If I were to alias this thing and call this account name instead, then my update parameter would become account name : update. That's what's used, that's what's searched for in the URL bar in order to do the update, or to find the data. I'm going to delete this. Okay. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over to my query link, and I'm going to set this to my update test. And so what this will do is it will run this query based on these parameters and any default values or created dates, last modified date, stuff like that that's passed in. If nothing's passed in, it'll use all the default values. It'll limit the results to 1, and then whatever it finds, it will update and change the name accordingly. Okay. And then it will return the list of results, basically the query that you would have normally gotten with the updated value. So here we can see my update test has been set. And in fact, if we look at this, you'll see that I have this account now called my update test, which just happened to be one of the accounts that matched the results. This isn't limited to updating one. You can actually do bulk updates, and in fact it's possible to update large numbers of things at once. So let's say I increase this to 25 and my default limit to 25, and then for demo purposes, I wouldn't normally advise doing this. There are some use cases where you might want to do this. Let's say this query is normally a recent orders query, and then once it's been processed, you want to go back and find the exact same orders and update the processed flag to true. You can do that this way. I'll demonstrate using the name. So we take this exact same query now with the update limit at 25, and we run the same thing. What's going to happen is it will find, should have found it. It didn't fix the limit. Okay, so let's run this one more time. There we go. We've massively updated everything, and in fact, if you look at the recent list, now I have all these different accounts. So that's my demo.